You have been lied to at the casino, literally lied to at the casino. What do you think?
What have we been lied to about?
Well, for one of the most biggest, most important bets you can take on a crap table is the odds. But they have lied to you about the odds, and I'm here to explain why. You ready?
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to buy you in. We're going to pretend that Dennis has $500 extra to spend. He came from that big Keno
I like
jackpot.
how you're saying pretend, like I don't,
No, I know you do, buddy, but you used your Keno money, and you're leaning into the crap table, which is exciting. Thank you for being on board. Now, we're going to tell you, we're going to uncover one of the biggest myths on a crap table. The idea that the odds is the best bet you can take at the casino, right? Now, there's a little bit of context that you should know. So let's look at this. Let's examine what the odds are. First of all, let's say we have a point of 4. Okay, so first of all here, bet the pass line, because this is an exciting bet. A lot of people love to bet the pass line. When the puck is here in the opposition, the pass line is a fantastic bet on its own, but only when the puck is here in this position. If you walk up to a table and you see the puck in this position, David told you it's a good bet on the pass line. It is a good bet on the pass line, but here's the problem. Once we have a number, and the whole point of craps is to have a number, now this pass line bet, not such a good bet, right? Because there are more ways of getting the losing number, which is the 7, than the number you need, the 5 in this case, to win the pass line. So the casino says you can take odds. Okay, what kind of odds are you going to take there, buddy?
Oh, let's take max odds. Let's
max odds, congratulations.
3, 4, 5 times table.
Yes, okay. So Dennis went ahead and took maximum odds. In this case, in a 3, 4, 5 game, he allows you to make $100 in odds. Now,
and for anyone who doesn't know, when we say 3, 4, 5, that's 3 times on the 4 and 10, 4 times on the 5 and 9, 5 times on the 6 and 8.
3 times, 4 times, 5 times odds. Okay, so he has 4 times this flat bet in odds. All right. Now, if he rolls another 5, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to give him. He took $100 back there. I'm going to give him $150 because it pays like blackjack and a quarter in front, and off he goes on his business. Now, the odds pay true exactly what they're supposed to pay. They pay exactly what they're supposed to pay. So on their own, it's a great bet. It's an absolutely fantastic bet on their own, but let's not forget it's attached to this terrible bet that pays even money now once there's a point, okay? So if you had invested $125 as what's called a place bet, that's essentially what you have here. You have $125 invested on the 5. Guess what? You would have also gotten $175. You see what I'm saying? So here you got $175, and here you have $175. Why is the place bet a better bet than the pass line bet? Well, for one, you don't have to go through the ups and downs and the swings of getting through the coming out roll, okay, with this pass line bet. That's number 1, okay? Number 2 is you have a fixed defined amount of money here that you can manage separately, right? So here, Dennis can choose to press, he can choose to take this money down, it goes off in the come out roll, he can work it, but this is his money, all of it, to do as he wants to. You follow? So here, as much as you might say, well, I'm sort of incentivized, I'm with the point, but here, you can manage this money effectively. Now, the other problem is this, and let me show you. You ready? Okay. Most people do not take maximum odds. A lot of you out there, you take double odds. That's the more common thing. Double odds, whatever the bet is. So here we have 25 in the pass line, $50 odds. Okay, now, in this scenario, if the 5 hits, you're going to get 3 in back and 1 in front, right? But watch this. If you'd invested the same $75 on the 5, you would have been paid $105. Here you have 100. Here you have 105. Would you rather 100 or 105?
More money.
More money here, and with a dynamic that you can manage. Up, down, off, up. You can take the money back, whatever you want to do. This is your money, all of it, because you're getting odds on all of it. Okay, now, let's change the numbers around a little bit. Okay, so let's move the puck around. Ready? Let's say the point's 4. The point's not 5. The point's 4. Here we have $75. Same thing. Okay. If you win, you're going to get one pal gets 2 pals in back plus even money. This is $125. But guess what? If you'd have bet $75, this $75 directly on the 4, you'd have gotten paid $150. Wait for it. Minus, let's say $4 if the casino's being a little greedy, which they tend to be. Okay. Now, you see this? Here's the 125. Matching the 125, you actually get a profit of $21. And check this out. Let's say you go max odds. Let's say you go max odds, and you're like, well, I'm a max odds kind of guy. You know what I'm saying?
Big baller.
You're a big baller, right? Watch this. Let's big baller you. Let's big baller yourself. I was gonna say big baller your butt, but that probably wouldn't have sounded right. You know what I'm saying?
That sounded weird.
That would have sounded weird. But anyways, so look at this. Now watch this. So he's got 75 in back. So that pays 150 and a quarter. That's 175, right? $175. How excited are you? Oh my God, I would be very excited. Wouldn't you be excited? I would be very excited.
I would be jumping.
Now watch this. See this $100? The same $75, $25, $100. Guess what that pays? $200, right? Minus, you're gonna pay $5 VIG, so you got $195. So here's your $175. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
More money, más dinero aquí. You know what I'm saying? More money right here. You see what I'm saying? So even though with the 5 and 9, if we max out the odds, it's about the same, although we have the dynamics, the place bets is better. Now, here's the thing, like instead of having to move the puck all the way around, let me just tell you, on the 6 and 8, it works out the same. Whether you put it here, basically the same money. With the 5 and 9, you have to take max odds in order for it to sort of equal out. You follow? But on the 4 and 10, you always make more money with the place bet than you do taking odds with this flat bet, because this flat bet kind of screws you over. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Now there should be a few caveats. There's a few lessons to be learned here. Number one, if you're expecting the casino to teach you how to play, that's not how you learn how to play. You learn how to play by people who have been dealing this game, understand how the game works, have deconstructed the game. You go to Casino Quest. You come see us, and we help you deconstruct the game, but that's a whole other thing. Now,
I do want to add one thing that David missed.
Yeah, I missed it.
You have to hit this twice. You have to hit the number twice to win once, right?
That's right. You have to, yes, that's right. So you have to come back. If you come out on a 4, you have to hit another 4 to win it, which meanwhile, if you're working these place bets, you only have to hit them once, not twice, right? So that's why that's why most of our strategies you'll find on this channel, we have some quirky systems for quirky people, but for the most part, we advise you to work place bets, right? And get out of the hand as quickly as possible. And most of the lessons involve understanding how this game works. Now you're gonna tell me, well, but David, let's get back to this originating bet, the pass line bet, because that's where I get a lot of pushback. So first, you have to bet a pass line or don't pass in order to shoot the dice, okay? So if you're wanting to shoot the dice, yes, you have to bet one. And if you're a pass line shooter and you're betting on what's called the light side, or you're trying to hit your point, make the pass line, and then if you have a pass line bet, you should always maximize the odds, because as you saw here, if you don't maximize the odds, you really don't get that favor, right? It's not the best bet, right? Or just put the odds up here, basically, okay? So anytime you bet the pass line, you should always be committed to maximizing the odds. Now, if you can find a casino with 10 times odds, all the station casinos here in town have 10 times odds. That's really a win and a win. And I want to look at this really quick. So 10 times odds, 20 times odds where it gets really exciting. There used to be a casino in town, 100 times odds, but let's look at a 10 times odds real quick. Now watch this. Did I take all your money? I just locked up all your money. I just took all your money. So if you have $25, let's say, okay, $25, and let's do the 6. Let's do it. Really, the 6 and 8 is about the same. So there's no reason to kind of work down the math. But if you could take $250 odds. You see what I mean? And those 250 odds are going to pay $375. So you're going to get $375 and a quarter. Okay. So you're going to get $375. Guess what? So you get $375 and a quarter. Now watch this. If you bet only $250 here, it's only going to pay $350.
Okay.
So once you get to the 10 times odds, so it's kind of a big caveat. You see what I'm saying? So if you do have 10 times odds and you're willing to bet 10 times odds, that's the thing. If you go to a casino and you're like, aha, they have 10 times odds, this is such a great, I'm gonna go back to odds like David told me, but you don't actually do 10 times odds, because that's quite the investment. You see what I'm saying?
A lot of money.
That's a lot of money. So if you're not a lot of money kind of player like that, if you're really just a double odds player, place bets is where the money is, okay? So you see this, so this is only $350 versus $375. So that's where some of this departs. Now watch this though, watch this. Now watch this. Did I mention to watch this?
I'm watching.
Are you watching? Okay, now watch this. So the other one is, and you can see that, David has deconstructed this so many times, it's just crazy silliness. Okay, watch this. So now if you go to the 4 and 10, this is the starting zone of where it gets really close. Because normally, so if you've got 500, this is going to pay 500 because you're going to get 2 to 1 and back and a quarter, okay? And if you bet 250 here, you're also going to win 500, but you're gonna lose out on $12 bet.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So on a 10 times odds table, if you like to play max odds and you can afford max odds, that's then the thing to do. So if you're going, but the thing that I see a lot of times is someone will be at station casinos, right? And they're still only betting double odds or triple odds or whatever the case is. If you're going to go to a 10 times odds, the whole purpose of going there is literally max out those odds and make your life and sort of upgrade your betting. But keep in mind, you still have a contract bet here. You still can't move that pass line. You still can't manage the money like it is here. Okay, so there are some caveats and downturn to them. But apart from that, that's where maybe the casino is not lying to you. There's always a caveat when it comes to the casino.
There's the other thing is, even if let's say you're on a 3-4-5 game, not a 10 times odd game,
Okay.
and you are on the pass line.
Okay.
Sometimes it's still better to do it on the place bet, especially if you're doing a specific type of strategy where you power press, you're throwing money in.
That is a very good point. That's why we recommend that if you're not shooting, don't bet the pass line. When it comes to actually making money and creating opportunity on the crap table, it's really about understanding and managing your bets. And the problem with betting on the pass line is, here's what happens is, for example, let's say Dennis has $110 on the inside. Okay, let's just very simply. Okay.
Double odds. Just because.
And we come out on the point at 9. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And now you got double odds. Or let's say you don't have the 9. Okay, let's say you don't have the 9. And now you have this is here, $85 on the inside, right? And you hit a few numbers, take a few bets, press whatever, okay, whatever the case is. But now let's say this is a winner 9. Okay, let's say it's winner 9. I go out and pay you. We turn the puck off, right? You pick up your money, right? And now we come out on, let's say the 5 or even the 4. It doesn't really matter. Now you have this hole here. Sometimes the dealer will, ask you. Sometimes they'll move the money. But it becomes a lot to keep track of, especially if you've pressed or done something with these other bets. So unless you're really a more advanced player and you're really focused and you're in the game and you can manage the money, I just tell people to start up here, right? Because every time, once you start shooting and you start hitting these numbers, it just becomes hard to manage. And the difference between the odds and the place bet, as we've showed you, is really not a ton of money. So for the sake of being able to manage the experience, we tell you just to stick with, start with your pass line and then bet your place bets. A lot of dealers will try to give you the money back, put it as odds and tell you, hey, you make a few extra dollars. But especially if you're playing on a $15 table, it's a couple dollars difference sometimes, right? And I feel like it's easier to see and manage the money up here for most people. You see what I mean? And this way, not even just most people. Listen, I'm a dealer. I know this game well. I can follow all the bets and keep track of what the dealer's doing for everybody, right? And I promise you, I bet here. I will, if I'm shooting and I actually want to shoot the dice, I'll have a pass line bet, and I will literally manage my money here whenever possible, so that way I can see what unit I'm in. So let's say, a lot of our systems, we go up in, we press, right? This bet is up there, this bet's up here, we sort of follow the number. Well, if I come out on that number, now the units are different, and I'm taking it down, and I'm betting a different amount. Here I can manage. I can manage my rack, I can manage what the numbers are at, what my presses are at. I can keep everything sort of squared away. Gambling is not always this very fixed, defined thing. It requires some flexibility, not just in your bankroll, but an understanding on how the game works, okay? So if you're not able to follow that or fit into that mold very well, I would say you're taking away opportunity. You're not able to maximize the experience on the game. And that's always a thing. It's not just about the bet itself. It's about how you literally interact with the table, how you interact with the dealer, how you work your bankroll, all of this stuff.
The mentality of the game.
Yep. Yep, mentality, emotion. I mean, there's so many parts of it that people miss out on. Most people, they just belly up to the game. They have a basic understanding. They throw out their money, you know what I mean, with very little empowerment, and they start this process where they feed the casino.
Yep, not only that, but then you have a couple drinks. Now you get emotional. Now you're throwing money all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, you know what's interesting is, so I mean, just as a cute little story.
A cute little story.
There came a time when Dennis went out into the world and he turned 21, and it wasn't the day he turned 21, but he had this experience. We went to Westgate and we had this. It was one of the first tables. He played before, but this was the table where he really owned it and came with a nice bankroll, and he got absolutely blitzed. And he was able to play for 8 hours and disciplined and play the same system consistently.
Yeah, but I know myself, even if I'm drunk, I'm still a very structured gambler. You know, some people aren't. And we've seen it. We've gone out with people and seen that that's not a thing.
Yeah, half a glass of wine, dude. I'm just out, dude. I can't drink it all when I'm gambling. But anyway.
So it is important to know yourself in that aspect, but that's a whole other video for another day.
It's coming out, though. All right, guys, I think that's a very good lesson on the truth of, we have more lessons, by the way. There's so many truths, half-truths, and bullshit that goes to this game, and we're going to share it all with you. Thank you so much for joining the D&D experience. I'm David, and this is...
Dennis.
We're D&D.
And he's going to say the line now.
And we're off to Keno to unwind.
And the truth is...